So with ADHD, we talk a lot about dopamine. So what exactly is that? We'll use an analogy because dopamine is called a neuromodulator and that affects neurons. So you can think of your brain like a group chat, right? So some messages get ignored, some get pinned, some make people really think, oh, what is happening? A neuron is like one person in that group chat that sends and receives messages. And a neuromodulator, like dopamine, is like the priority setting for that whole group chat. It doesn't send the message itself, but it flags how important that message is. So dopamine says, pay attention to this. This might be important later. Or this actually is worth the effort. And dopamine does this by tracking expectations and outcomes. So if something turns out better than expected, dopamine increases. And if it's worse than expected, it'll decrease. And this signal helps the brain learn what to repeat and where to focus the energy. So in the case of ADHD, where dopamine is less efficient, it's just a lot harder to get tasks done that don't have a lot of reward or have delayed rewards. This can look like a mom, for instance, who is doing the dishes in the middle of the day, knowing all of these dishes are going to be here at the end of the day. The reward might not feel as strong. So therefore, it might take a lot more energy to get those dishes done. So instead of looking at it as simply just the pleasure chemical, it's more of a priority signal. So going back to the group chat analogy, in ADHD, the group chat then would look like maybe you missed a message because the notification sound didn't ring, or there were so many messages that important ones got buried under less important messages. So it's not always a lack of effort, but a quieter dopamine signal.